Thank you again to Joe, Nari, and for Mega Gabay for arranging this show. We are tonight in Parashat Synagogue. We're studying Parashat Chukat. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to dedicate tonight's shir to Eloi Nishmat Rivka Bat Shaina and Ruach Hashem Tenechenu B'Gan Eden and Navdil B'Chaim Tovim. We want to wish Refuah Shlema for Gabriela Naomi Bat Lea Malka and Alicia Bat Sheva Bat Rivka. How is everybody? I want to study tonight Parashat Chukat, the Parasha of Mei Meriva. Does everybody remember the story of Mei Meriva? Parasha of Moshe Rabbeinu. Very interesting parasha to study. In Shlishi, in Parashat Chukat, Perek Chaf, we want to study together a few psukim. Perek Chaf. What happened after Miriam died? What happened? When Miriam died, she took away the Be'er Miriam. There was no water. The water supply got cut off. And Am Yisrael needed water. Perek Chaf, Pasuk Aleph. ויהיו בני ישראל כל העדה מתברצין בחודש הראשון. וישב שם העם בקדש. ותמת שם מרים ותקבר שם שידעת, ולא היה מים לעדה ויקלו על משה ועל אהרון. There was no water. So Am Yisrael, welcome, we have a guest appearance. Please join us, what about to do?
ערב טוב לכולם, good evening.
ערב טוב, רבי, איזו הפתעה.
Surprise.
איפה השיעור?
ולא היה מים לעדה ויקלו על משה ועל אהרון. They came to Moshe and Aaron and they said וירב העם על משה. What does it mean וירב העם? The people came to Moshe and they started complaining. ויאמרו לאמור והוא גבענו בגבע אחינו לפני השם. We should have died in the previous generation in the midbar. למה הבאתם את קהל השם אל המדבר הזה למות שם? ואנחנו ובעירנו, us and our cattle. בעירנו is the animals. So, Bnei Israel, you can understand them that they had no water supply. You know, that's what you're in a desert, you have water, and suddenly you don't have any water. So you can understand why they're upset. And they come to Moshe Rabbeinu saying, listen, it's better that we would have died beforehand. To kill us now slowly without water, it's a painful, suffering death. And then they say, why'd you come and bring us to a bad place? Lo makom zera is not a place to plant. Ute'ena vegefen verimon. There's nothing. Umayim ein lishtot. There's not even water to drink. Now, what was the response of Moshe Rabbeinu?
They went to Oil Moed.
ויבואו משה ואהרון מפני הקהל אל פתח אוהל מועד. They went to speak to Hashem. ויפלו על פניהם. They fell on their faces וירקו them עליהם. Now they're like, oh no, not again. Another story. Now, it's very important to study this parasha over 5 psukim. I'm just going to read with you the story of what happened. First of all, what happened last time Am Yisrael asked for water? So do you have a Chumash Shemot? You look in Parashat Beshalach, Pasuk Yud Zayin. This is very important to study the 2 episodes when Am Yisrael complaining and asking for water, and Moshe comes and produces them from water. So what follows on is Hashem says to Moshe, speak to the rock, and Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he hits the rock and water flows out. And then for that he gets a big punishment. What's his punishment?
Not to go to Eretz Israel.
Not to go to Eretz Israel. Okay, so we have to speak about what was the big punishment of Moshe Rabbeinu. So let's read the parasha in Beshalach.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. One second.
Perek Yud Zayin. If you go to Eli, do you have Chumash Shemot? ויסעו כל עדת בני ישראל ממדבר סין. When they just left מצרים. ולמעשה הם על פי השם ויחנו ברפידים. ואין מים לשתות. And there's no water to drink. So same scenario. One is beforehand when they just left Egypt, and one is after Miriam died and it got taken away the Be'er Miriam. And the same pasuk, look at the similarities. Vayerev ha'am Moshe. And the people start complaining and fighting with Moshe. Vayamru tnu lanu mayim. Give us water to drink. V'nishteh. Vayamar Moshe, ma terivun. What are we fighting about? Ma terivun imadi. U'ma tenasun et Hashem. What are you complaining about? Well, you didn't trust in Hashem. Hashem is going to provide you water. He brought you out 10 plagues out of Mitzrayim, split the sea, brings you man from Hashemayim. Of course, it's going to bring you water. Nothing to worry about. Ma tenasun et Hashem. Bitchu ba'Hashem. Trust in Hashem. It will bring it to you. Vayitzama sham ha'am lemayim. They were thirsty for water. Vayilana ha'am et Moshe. And they started complaining to Moshe. Vayomer lama ze lithalu miMitzrayim. Again, look at the similarity. Same complaint. Why do you take us out of Egypt? To kill me and my children and my cattle in the wilderness. And that's the same complaint over here. We see that they complain to Hashem and they're saying, why did you bring us to this bad place? And our animals. We're going to die, the animals are going to die, the children are going to die. Same complaining. And what happens over there? Moshe cries out to Hashem. What should I do with these people? They're going to stone me. I'm going to get rocks thrown at me if I don't bring them water. Hashem and Moshe, don't worry. Just calm down. Take your stick. And you should go. I'm going to stand there before you. Hit the rock. From the rock is going to come out water. And then all the people will drink from the water. And that's what Hashem told him to do. And that's what he did. He took the stick, he hit the rock, water came out. Everybody was happy. There's no punishment. That was the name of the place. Because they tested Hashem. So it's called Masa Meriva. Now, that is an introduction to this week's parasha. Now look at this. How different is the episode? Same introduction, but the ending is very different. And very bitter for Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay. Are you with me? We're in Pasuk Perek Chaf in Bamidbar, Parashat Chukat, beginning of Shlishi.
Yes.
Pasuk Zvain. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. The people are complaining about water. Hashem has a plan. Kach et hamateh. Take the stick. The beginning is very similar. Kach et hamateh v'akel et ha'edah. Gather all the people. Ata v'Aaron achicha. Your brother Aaron. V'dibartem el ha'selah. Speak to the rock. Le'enehem. V'natan me'mav. And the rock will bring out its water. V'yotzet le'hemayim. And you will bring for them water. Min ha'selah, from the rock. And you'll you'll quench the thirst. Provide water for all of the people and the animals. And he took the stick מלפני השם כאשר ציווהו. ויקילו משה ואהרון את הקהל. This is what they did. They took all the people אל פני הסלע. They came to the rock. And then says Moshe Rabbeinu, ויאמר להם שמעו נא המורים. Listen now, Morim, the rebellious ones, or Amorim, you complainers, complaining against Hashem. From this rock we will draw forth water. He lifted up his hand. He hit the rock twice. And burst forth an abundance of water. And all the animals and all the people drank. And look at the response from Hashem. Because you did not believe in me and trusted me, to make a kiddush Hashem of me in front of Bnei Israel. You will not go into Eretz Israel, the land which I gave to them. Now, we need to understand this parasha. What's going on over here? What did Moshe Rabbeinu do wrong? Why he's not allowed to go into Eretz Israel? Now, very interesting. If you see all of the Rishonim, everyone talks about this. What did Moshe Rabbeinu do wrong? Why did he get punishment? What did he do? He took a stick, he hit the rock, and tons of water came out. Same story as beforehand. And here it's a tragic ending. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't go into Eretz Yisrael. He doesn't build the Beit HaMikdash. And Am Yisrael is left without their great leader. So, why am I talking about this? So, one reason is because Gilad asked me to speak about it. He asked me, and I said I will speak about it. But there's many lessons for us to learn. And if you look, all the Rishonim on the parasha, the Ramban, Ibn Ezra, the Kolbo, Chizkuni, Rabbi Netanel, everyone speaks about this Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, why do we need to speak about what Moshe Rabbeinu did wrong? Moshe is the greatest leader of Am Yisrael, the greatest one who ever was. The only reason why we're speaking about it is that we should learn a lesson from it. We're not coming to judge Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu on his level didn't do anything wrong. He did the best thing, the Shem Shamayim. Of course, he had the rock, the Shem Shamayim, to be Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. So that's the first introduction. Moshe Rabbeinu did nothing wrong on his level. The Torah is telling us, obviously, something that we need to learn from it. And what we need to learn, there's 10 different explanations. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh, on this pasuk, if you want to look it up, he brings 10 different explanations from all the Rishonim. And he says none of the explanations justify or do justice to explain the sin of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not really considered like a sin. But we have to understand what happened over here. This is the reason Moshe was not allowed to go into Eretz Yisrael. Okay. So, first of all, does anyone want to have any questions? Any? No?
Yeah, can you just repeat, Rabbi, can you please repeat the question that we're addressing?
We want to understand what went wrong over here. Well, what did Moshe Rabbeinu do? Why was it different to Refidim? So let's just speak it out and clearly. I'm just going to base my tonight's shiur on the Netivot Shalom, the Admor Mastanim, one of my favorites. And he lists 5 questions. The first question is, why is it different to Refidim? In Parashat Shemot, Hashem told him to hit the rock. And that was a great miracle that what happened in Refidim. He hit the rock and lots of water came out. I never seen water coming out, gush out of a rock when someone hits it. And here, this is what Moshe did, and it was a great miracle. And why here is there anything different?
Hashem didn't tell Moshe to rock.
So the question is, what? Let's start, I guess. So Rashi says, first of all, what was Moshe's doing wrong? So let me just give you an example of what the Rishonim say of what Moshe's mistake was. So one say that instead of speaking to the rock, Hashem told him to speak to the rock. V'dibartem. I'm saying, Eli, maybe you want to mute because I can hear the typing and it's just disturbing my concentration. Sorry. V'dibartem el hasela. It says you should speak to the rock. And Moshe Rabbeinu, instead of speaking, he hit the rock. That was one mistake which some of the Rishonim say that was Moshe did wrong. He should have spoken to the rock, and he didn't speak to the rock, he hit the rock. And now really, what's the big avera of doing that? It's still a miracle. And that's what happened last time when Hashem told him to hit the rock. And everyone still sees that it's wow, and Hashem brings water from the rock. So that in itself needs to be understood. Others explain is that wasn't what he did wrong. The fact was that he hit the rock. And the fact was that he got angry and he said, Shimuna Morim. He was accusing Bnei Israel of being Morim, rebellious. And that's why Hashem denied. Others people are saying that he took from a different rock. Hamin Hasela Hazeh. He went to the same rock and he should have chosen a different rock. And they all go at length. And Ramban brings 3 explanations and then he disproves them. And all the Rishonim bring different, or Chaim brings the explanations and disproves them. So it's very difficult to understand.
Sorry, Rabbi.
Mo?
But like in the pasuk, it says like Notzi lachem maim. It shouldn't he said like Hashem yotzi maim?
Oh, very good, very good. So excellent, Mo. So one of the explanations is that this is what Hashem did wrong. Moshe did wrong. He was assuming that himself is a power, saying he like putting himself together with Hashem. Notzi lachem maim. We will bring forth from you water. That's also one of the explanations, but that's also disproved. And with the explanation we're going to give tonight, we're going to make that a bit understood as well. So, just as an introduction, there's many explanations of the Rishonim on this parasha. Many of them are, difficult to understand, and I don't know how much we're going to understand exactly what was the chet of all of Moshe Rabbeinu. But I'm going to give you one approach, and this is something that we can take with us and learn from, and hopefully this is a better way of understanding it. Okay, so now if we can just restart. I'm going to give you a series of questions and then we're going to go through trying to understand the parasha. So question number 1 is, okay, let's go with Rashi's approach. He hit the rock instead of speaking to it. So what was wrong with that? Beforehand, in Parashat Shemot, that's exactly what he did. He hit the rock, water came out. It was a great miracle. So that's question number 1. Why is it different? And why was Hashem so upset about it? Why? And question number 2 is, why did Hashem really want him to speak? Why didn't he want him to speak? Beforehand, he didn't want him to speak. Beforehand, he told him to hit it. So why are you changing your mind, Hashem? What do you want? You want to hit? You want to speak? It's confusing. You can't really understand what does Hashem want to do. In Beshalach, he says, hit the rock. Here he says, speak to the rock. So that is the question number 1. Question number 2, he says, Ya lo iman to be lakdisheni le'nei bnei Israel. You didn't do a Kiddush Hashem by speaking to the rock. It's still a Kiddush Hashem if you hit the rock and water comes out. It's still a miracle, and the miracle actually did happen. And we need to also understand, why did Moshe hit the rock when Hashem told him not to? If Hashem said speak to the rock, so he could have spoken to him, even if you don't understand why. But why did Moshe Rabbeinu really hit the rock? I mean, he understands why Hashem told him. Hashem told him to speak to the rock. So you should have just done that. Why did you come and change what Hashem told you to do? And also, if you notice in the parasha, he didn't just hit the rock once. What does it say? He hit the rock twice. So, question number 1, why did Hashem tell him to speak and not hit? Even if he told him to speak, so why didn't Moshe just speak? Why did he hit? And if he hit, why did he hit twice? And here's the main focus of this question. This is a beautiful question. Why is the punishment of Moshe Rabbeinu so drastic, so grave, not to go into Eretz Israel? You should just say, Moshe Rabbeinu, you should have spoken. Next time, don't hit the rock, speak to the rock. And Hashem said, okay. Moshe would say, okay, fine, next time I'll do that. I'm sorry. But he says, no, this is the end. You can't go into Eretz Israel now. You have to go. You're not allowed into Eretz Israel, and you're going to lose your whole leadership. The pasuk says, "Lachen," because of this, because you didn't do this, shelo yagdisheni, you didn't do a Kiddush Hashem in front of Bnei Israel. That's why you cannot bring Am Yisrael into the land of Israel. Asher natati lahem. Why not? It seems like it's a direct consequence. As a result of this sin, you cannot go into Eretz Israel. And this is specific punishment. There's nothing else. This is a direct consequence of what you did wrong. So the question is, what's the connection between what he did to the punishment that he got? Why is that this punishment? Okay, are we good? Mahar, Meir, is anything clear?
Mm-hmm.
Clear questions. Okay. So let's just maybe summarize the question. Why did Hashem over here ask to speak and not hit the rock like before? That's question number one. Why do you want to speak? Question number two is, what's the difference between speaking and hitting? Surely also hitting is also a big kiddush Hashem. You can see how the water comes through, and you see that Hashem actually brings that water. And why is that called lo emanten bi? Shelo emanten bi lagdisheni. What do you mean? We're still hitting the rock because we believe Hashem is going to bring out water, and water comes out. What? That's the second question. What's the difference between hitting and speaking? Why Hashem wanted him specifically to speak? The third question is, why didn't Moshe listen to Hashem and hit the rock? Why did he hit it twice? Just hit it once. And fourth question, why is it direct consequence not to go into Eretz Yisrael because he hit the rock? Right? Surely there's a great miracle. I mean, if I would have been there, I would have been like, wow, amazing. Look, he's doing the rock trick again. He's bringing out water from the rock. How amazing is Hashem? You can bring out water from a rock. So this is things which is unclear. So I want to show you, this is a beautiful, maybe we'll see if we've got time for a beautiful way of understanding this parasha from the Admor Misloni. And he actually gives two explanations. I'm going to do one. If we have time, we'll do the second one as well. So first thing over here is, just 1 second, I'm just going to close the door. Okay. So first of all, let's look at the pasuk again. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe el Aaron Yan, because lo ha'emantem bi. You didn't believe me. You didn't believe in me. You didn't fulfill your shlichut, your duty or your job, your purpose. You didn't fulfill the message of Hashem properly. To make a kiddush Hashem of me on the eyes of Israel. So what's this chisaron in emunah? So let's first speak about emunah and bitachon. This is the key principle, and this is what the whole based on, this whole idea. And this is the principle of emunah and ishtadlut. What does emunah mean? Emunah means we believe that everything that happens to us and comes to us comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So where is ishtadlut involved? Why do we do ishtadlut? If we believe all our parnasah comes from Shamayim, so why do we go to work? Let's just wait for the month to come from Shamayim. We really believe that Hashem provides for us everything. So why do we study for exams? We believe that our shidduch is from Shamayim. So why do we go out to meet girls? Why do we go on shidduchim? Just wait for why do we go speak to Shadchan? Just wait for the girl to come along. What is the whole purpose of ishtadlut? If we believe everything is min Hashemayim, where does ishtadlut come in? So we have to understand that if a person is really on the highest level of emunah and bitachon HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you really believe on the highest level of emunah that everything is from Hashem and Hashem provides you everything, then absolutely you will get everything without any ishtadlut. And this is a pasuk which you see in Chizkiah. Pasuk says, Ani yashen al mitati, I will sleep on my bed, va'ata oseh, and you will do for me. Samochu batach beli shum pipuk, ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu yazor lo. If someone fully trusts in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then that's all he has to do. That's what Chizkiah did. He went to sleep. The whole army of Sancheriv, they all died. And he didn't even go out to war. That was like the highest level of emunah. He doesn't really have to do anything, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will for surely do everything for him. And this is Baruch HaGever Hashem Yiftach B'Hashem, V'ya Hashem Yiftacho. Anyone trusts in Hashem fully, there's no. But as we go in the levels of emunah, a drop lower of emunah, you've got to do a little bit of ishtadlut. A drop more of in emunah, you've got to do even more ishtadlut. And the higher you are in emunah, the less ishtadlut you need to do. If you feel like you haven't done enough, I haven't done enough of ishtadlut, and you don't believe that it's enough what you've done, then you need to do more until you feel this is the comfortable. I've done enough. Now it's min hashamayim parnasa comes, right? So I've done my degree. I've set up a business, and I have to just pray that everything works out. That's enough of ishtadlut for me. I don't have to carry on doing more ishtadlut and advertise and get agents and do that. And if you don't feel that's enough, then you need to do that as well. That's even more ishtadlut you need to do. Until if that's enough, ishtadlut and everything now is min hashamayim. Will it succeed? Not succeed? Borrow more money? That's all about ishtadlut. And he says very interesting diuk when Yaakov Avinu sent the tribes down to Mitzrayim. He said, take down ma'at tzori or ma'at dvash. Bring a present for the king. A little bit of honey, a little bit of spices. It's very interesting. Why do you say a little bit? When you send a king a present, you don't send him a little bit of honey. You want to send him honey, send him a big box of honey, a huge amount. Bring a nice amount of spices and perfumes. Bring down to Egypt. Why are you bringing down a little bit? So he says that this is part of the emunah. You bring a little bit because you're showing that's a little bit of ishtadlut. Ishtadlut, be nice to the king, so he'll provide for us and he'll give us. If you do too much ishtadlut, you're showing like it's lack of emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No, this is really the main point of the shiur tonight. The Zohar Kadosh. It says the pasuk betach b'Hashem v'aseh tov shachan aretz. Listen to this Zohar. She'ikar koach lizchot le'eretz Yisrael. Did you ever think, I want to live in Israel? I want to do Aliyah. I've had enough of London, enough of the Goyim everywhere. I want to be in the Jewish land, in the homeland. I want to be in Eretz Yisrael, Jews everywhere. Go to Shirat Torah. Yeah. Enough of the Goyim. Did you ever think about that? I think every Jew thinks about that at one point. And now serious you are to make the move. What is the merit that you get to have a zchut? And it's the biggest zchut to live in Eretz Yisrael. It's a zchut. Baruch Hashem, I'm very lucky I'm living in Eretz Yisrael. Hopefully I will continue to be living here. שעיקר הכוח לזכות בארץ ישראל הוא על ידי מידת הביטחון. You want to live in Israel, you have to have ביטחון in הקדוש ברוך הוא. This is the Zohar. וזה בטח בהשם ועשה טוב, ועל ידי זה שכן הארץ. ישראל you need ביטחון. שמכוח this is what you merit. תזכה לרשת ארץ ישראל. And that's why it says in the pasuk, וישבתם לבטח בארצכם. In your land, that's when you will live with ביטחון. ששיבתכם בארץ היא לפי ערך מידת הביטחון. The higher level you have of ביטחון, the stronger you are in ביטחון, that's how you have the zchut to live in Eretz Israel. And the opposite is also true. If someone doesn't have a bittachon enough to live in Eretz Israel, you don't live here. How many people move? Okay, I want to move to Israel, but what about parnasa? How am I going to have parnasa? So, those who say, I trust in Hashem, I'm going to Eretz Israel, parnasa, they come. And those who say, okay, listen, I'll save up a bit of money and then I'll go to Eretz Israel. So they don't come. It's a zchut, they have to come. What about, okay, parnasa, what about schooling? What about housing? Where am I going to live? What about my friend? So what is level of bitachon? The high level of trust you have in the Kodesh Baruch Hu, that's they get into Eretz Yisrael. And it's a big jump. And many people you see, they come here, they struggle a little bit, it doesn't work out, they come back. We tried Aliyah, we tried it for 6 months, it didn't work, we came back. Eretz Yisrael niknet b'yisurim. What does that mean? It's Torah and Eretz Yisrael. You want to be Gadol b'Torah, you want to live in Eretz Yisrael, is yisurim involved. You don't get it for free. It's a zchut and it's a privilege. And it depends on the bitachon. Where do we see also an example? If you look at it, mitzvot tloyot ba'aretz. What does it mean, mitzvot tloyot ba'aretz? There's some mitzvot which only are in Eretz Yisrael. There's some mitzvot which apply everywhere. Which mitzvot can you do in Israel and you can't do it in London? Which mitzvot?
Shmita.
Shmita, excellent. Shmita. Shmita is only told in Eretz Yisrael. Now, what does Shmita mean? What do you do in Shmita? What's the mitzvah of Shmita?
You leave the land on the 7th year.
But you leave the land, follow for 7 years. Has that got anything to do with bitachon?
Yeah, of course. You believe
of course.
Of Hashem will take care of you in the year that
in the 7th year. And you have to have that in Eretz Yisrael. Because you don't have bitachon, you don't get to live in Eretz Yisrael. Shmita. And what happened was, in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, there was a period that they stopped keeping Shemitah. They didn't have bitachon and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what happened? They left Eretz Yisrael. They got kicked out of Eretz Yisrael because they didn't fulfill their Shemitot. And they left it for 70 years. And that was a period of 70 years that they didn't come into Eretz Yisrael until they were allowed back. Because those were the years that they missed out Shemitah. Over the 410-year period, they missed out 70 Shemitot and had to catch them up. Because if you don't have the Emunah in Hashem, Bitachon, you cannot go into Eretz Yisrael. So that's one example. Excellent. Shemitah. What else is a mitzvah in Eretz Yisrael?
Bikurim?
Bikurim is time of the Mikdash. But in Eretz Yisrael, which also applies nowadays. Eli? Or Meir, what's the mitzvah which is Talui Be'eretz Yisrael? What's another example?
Something to the Kotel.
Kotel, no, there's no mitzvah of Kotel in Eretz Yisrael. There's mitzvah of Aliyah L'Regel. But there's a mitzvah of Trumot and Ma'asot. What was Trumot and Ma'asot? Produce in the field, you have to take away a tenth and give it to the Ani, give it to the Kohen. Take away Ma'asot. There's no mitzvah of Ma'asot in the land, of Trumot Ma'asot in the land in Chutz La'aretz. Has that got anything to do with bitachon?
Yes, of course. It's also bitachon, and also like the acknowledgement of anyway. It's Hashem. It's not yours.
The land belongs to Hashem, and you got it from Hashem. That's why you're giving back. At Masot, there's Maser Rishon, Maser Sheni, Maser Ani. There's all different mitzvot. Also the mitzvah. This mitzvah of Orla, there's in Eretz Yisrael. The mitzvah of Orla for 3 is the Midoraita, Midaraban, and also in Chutz La'aretz. But the mitzvah of Orla is that you can't eat from the fruits of the tree for the first 3 years, and the 4th year has to be eaten in Yerushalayim. So all of these things has got to do with bitachon in Hashem. That I trust that the land is from Hashem, and I have to give away to a charity, or that I have to leave the land away for the poor. Also, pe'ah, leket, shikha, and pe'ah, that I have to leave the corner of my field. Every field, if you had a field in Eretz Yisrael, the corner of it, you have to leave pe'ah for the poor people. That's also bitachon. So you see the whole zchut that you get to live in Eretz Yisrael is for bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now we understand the parasha completely different. What was wrong with the complaint? They were complaining to Moshe Rabbeinu that they want water. Has that got anything to do with bitachon? When they're complaining about water, does that show that they have lack of bitachon in Hashem?
Yeah, all the complaints of Bnei Israel, it's lack of bitachon.
Excellent, it's a lack of bitachon. So what does Hashem do? Hashem says, listen, I need to improve their level of bitachon. I have to show them who is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want to show them a miracle. I want to show them something greater. It's not just enough to bring them water from hitting the rock. I have to do something special because they need the zchut to live in Eretz Yisrael. And they need to have bitachon in Hashem. So now we can understand. Why did Hashem say speak to the rock? What's more ishtadlut, hitting the rock or speaking to the rock?
Yes, speaking, of course, because you don't touch it. There's nothing physical.
There's nothing physical at all. You just open, all right? It's just a voice operating. There's no buttons. You don't need to press anything. You just speak to them and the water comes out. So this is the highest madriga of emunah and bitachon that you can have in HaKadosh Baruch Hu if you do that. And that's what Hashem wanted him to do. Hashem wanted him to speak to the rock. And what is the power of speaking to the rock? So I saw the explanation is, what was the difference between beforehand when they left Mitzrayim and Hashem said hit the rock, and here Hashem speak to the rock. So one explanation we gave, because now we want to go to Eretz Yisrael. So of course they're both great miracles, and both you see the yad of Hashem hitting the rock. But hitting the rock is one level, speaking to the rock is a higher level. And here before Eretz Yisrael we need the highest level of bitachon that there is. And another excellent answer is that this was after Matan Torah. Before giving of the Torah, there's nothing to speaking to rock. What language do rocks speak? How are you going to say, please rock, give us some water? What do you want him to say to the rock? Hello rock, be nice, we need water, please can you bring us water? What do you want him to say, Moshe Rabbeinu? So the Mepharshim say, Rishonim, I saw this, that he was supposed to say Torah, supposed to say Chidush Torah. By saying Chidush Torah, what does that show? You come and say a perek of psukim or mishnayot to the rock, and from the Torah comes out water. That's an amazing miracle. You see the koach of the Torah that has in Eretz Yisrael to bring out water. When you have that great bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that gives you the zchut to live in Eretz Yisrael. So that's what Hashem's plan was. That's why he said v'dibartem. So why did Moshe not do that? Why did Moshe take the stick and hit the rock? So listen to this explanation given by the Nitivot Shalom. He said Moshe Rabbeinu thought that Am Yisrael wasn't on that level yet. They were on a small level of bitachon. And if they're on a smaller level of bitachon, so you can't skip stages. You've got to go according to your stage. If you're on a low level of bitachon, then you have to try for your parnasa, do a work. Even though you know parnasa is min hashamayim, but you have to do your ishtadlut, because that's your level. You can't just go to sleep like Chizkiah Melech. You have to do your level of ishtadlut. So your level of ishtadlut of Am Yisrael is to hit the rock. So that's what Moshe did, according to his madriga. That was the right thing to do. That was the obligation and duty of ishtadlut. That's why he did the rock. But he didn't just hit the rock once, he hit the rock twice. And here you see, it's an example of doing extra ishtadlut. And this is where a person can go wrong. You know, what happens if a person does extra ishtadlut and he works extra hours? So you can do extra hours, but if you're doing extra hours into the night, and instead of being at home with the family, you're at work. Or instead of learning Torah and Shiur Torah, you go to work. And instead of getting ready for Shabbat early on Friday, you are at work. You're doing extra ishtadlut, and extra ishtadlut is wrong, and it's not right. It's not going to provide for you anything. Where's your bitachon in Hashem? So he says, "Vayachet asela pa'amayim," and this shows you that he did extra ishtadlut. And that's because he saw that they were on a low level, and that's why he said to them, "Shimuna amorim." You are rebellious ones that you don't trust in Hashem. You are on the lowest level of bitachon. I have to hit the rock twice for you, and that's why he had to hit the rock twice. And that was a fault and a pagam in the midat of bitachon. So now everything makes sense. But Rafidim, when Hashem said hit the rock, that was because they were on a lower level of emunah. Now they need to go to a higher level, to Eretz Yisrael. Now they've got receiving the Torah, so the Torah can speak to them. And Hashem created Yitzhak, Barati Torah Tavlin. Speak to the rock, Divrei Torah. Divrei Torah will improve the bitachon of the people. When you study Torah, you'll improve the bitachon. That's what you should have done. And if they would have done that, what would have happened? So this is something amazing. The Or Chaim HaKadosh said, if they would have done that, they would have lifted up the level of bitachon of all of Am Yisrael. The level of bitachon would have been so high. Just by learning Torah, you can speak to rock and bring out water. It would have done such a kiddush Hashem. The Am Yisrael would have come in with Moshe and Aaron. They would have come in with Moshe and Aaron, and who would have built the Beit Mikdash? Moshe and Aaron. They would have built the Beit Mikdash. It would have been so unbelievable, the power of influence of bitachon that they got from speaking Divrei Torah to a rock and bringing out water for an entire nation and their animals, that they would have remained on that high level of bitachon, and they would have not have done wrong. There would have been no need ever to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. It would have been complete and total shlemut, completion. That this is, that was what the intention was, to leave Mitzrayim, to receive the Torah, improve our bitachon, go into Eretz Yisrael, build the Beit HaMikdash, and that's it. Serve Hashem b'simcha. That was the ultimate, the peak, the highest level that we were supposed to reach, the epitome. And they messed up. You see, Moshe Rabbeinu, he did wrong, and that didn't happen. Not only he didn't fit to go in, he didn't bring their level of emunah high. Now we understand what was the consequence, why Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't allowed to go in. You are only zochet Eretz Yisrael if you have bitachon in Hashem, like the mitzvot shitloyot ba'aretz, like we said, the Shemitah, and like the Zohar Kadosh says. You can love Eretz Yisrael, you can donate your money to Eretz Yisrael, but if you don't have enough bitachon, you have the zchut to move or make a move to live in Eretz Yisrael. And Moshe Rabbeinu, when he didn't show that emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the nation, so as a direct consequence, you can't go into Eretz Yisrael. You're supposed to show L'Akdishen L'Bnei Yisrael, to show the bitachon and bidat bitachon. And when you don't show that, then obviously you cannot go into Eretz Yisrael. Like what the Zohar Kadosh said, that because of the bitachon you go into Eretz Yisrael.
But Rabbi, like, can we really say that first of all, it's the question is like, why Aaron? Because Moshe basically took the steps. He talked and he hit the rock. So why, like when Hashem says lo emantem, is like
why
saying
does he include Aaron?
Moshe did all the actions.
Okay, so very good. So Maraz, you're asking an excellent question. You're asking, very good, you have explained Moshe Rabbeinu, but where's Aaron involved? What did Aaron do wrong? He's just standing by and he's just like watching. So, okay, so I wasn't going to go into tonight's shiur, but the Rishonim do speak about it. It's a very good question. But on what I said, is there any questions on what I said to explain Moshe Rabbeinu?
Rabbi, I have just a small question.
Go
You
on.
said to stay in the land of Israel, to stay in Israel, we have to have certain level of bitachon.
Yes.
When you say to stay in the land of Israel, what parts of Israel do you include? Like the Jewish parts or like the whole of Israel?
יישוב ארץ ישראל is מהים הגדול עד נהר הירדן.
Is that anywhere in Israel or only specific parts? Because you can live in Tel Aviv and have high bitachon.
Okay, I don't know. So obviously you want to find, Mishnah says any nigar ele b'makom Torah. You want to live in a Jewish place, in a religious place, but every part in Eretz Israel is Yishuv Eretz Israel. Even if you live in Tel Aviv and everything, apart from maybe Eilat. Maybe Eilat is not considered in the borders of Eretz Israel.
Even Tel Aviv would count?
So Tel Aviv would count if you find a nice place in Tel Aviv where you can be amongst good people and practice Judaism properly and not to be influenced by the certain areas in Tel Aviv. Then even Tel Aviv is a Yishuv Eretz Israel. Gzul halachot Eretz Israel apply there. And even for Tel Aviv you need a zchut. You need a zchut to live there. So let's just want to explain about Moshe Rabbeinu. He understood that the Am Yisrael was on a low level of bitachon and they can't go up places. Now, what should we do? Now, let's speak about us now. What do you do if you're on a low level of bitachon? How can you make yourself higher? How can you bring yourself up to a level of bitachon? You say, okay, listen, I really want to live in Eretz Israel and I really want to improve my bitachon in Hashem. So how do you do that? Here he says something very special. This is a little bit of I'm going into the Hasidic world. This is Torah Hasidut. But he says that every Jewish neshama, you have a spark of Jewish. It's called Nitzotza Yehudi. There's a spark of your neshama which comes from a very high place. That means every Jew, whatever level he is, you cannot underestimate the level of a Jew. And here one of the things that Moshe, what the Mefarshim say, is that Moshe judges the Jews to be on a low level. And he said to them, Shimuna Amorim, of course Hashem can bring you out water. And I'm going to show you and I'm going to hit the rock. And so he says like this, according to one of listen to, he says a beautiful idea. He says, he feels a bit weaker in his emunah. He's not clear in bitachon Hashem. What should he do? He said, just believe that you're a believer. Say, I'm a Jew. I believe in Hashem. Continue to say those words and say psukim of bitachon. This is a big segula. If you ever find yourself, okay, how do I get out of this? I'm scared. I'm worried. I'm panicking. So the big segula to say psukim of bitachon. V'abotech b'Hashem chesed yisovevenu. Baruch hagever asher yiftach b'Hashem haya Hashem yiftacho. Say the psukim of bitachon and repeat them to yourself. Even if you don't feel the emunah, but inside of you, your neshama, your nefesh, your Jewish nefshama, the pnimiyut, believes, because you're a Jew. And every Jew has a yerusha, an inheritance in his neshama. It's engraved in your soul, in your neshama, that you're a ma'amin, that you believe. This is one of the foundations of Judaism. How do Jews give up their lives for what they believe in? Because the belief that's inside, it's engraved. You can't get it out of you. Sometimes you don't feel it as strong. And he gives an example, if you have a sunny day, okay? What's the difference in a sunny day and a cloudy day? Is there any difference in the sun? Is the sun weaker on a cloudy day than on a sunny day? Same sun. There's no change in the sun. So what's the change? Change is in the clouds. So a Jew, sometimes, okay, you lose yourself, you get into the walks of life, and you forget who you are and what you are. But inside, your neshama is burning on fire like the sun. So if you just clean it up a bit and bring out what's inside you, the emunah, you can reach that high level of bitachon. And that's what was expected of Moshe Rabbeinu as a leader of Am Yisrael, to bring that out in the Jewish people. And maybe we'll just move this and connect this onto the second part of the Netivat Shalom. So if you go with the explanation of Shimona Amorim, that one of the faults was over here that he didn't have faith in the people. As a leader of Bnei Israel, you have to have belief in the nation. Even if they're on a low level, a leader has to always believe in his people to bring them up. If you lose hope in them, you can't be a leader. You know, a father has faith in his child, right? And he trusts in him. Even if the child does wrong, okay, but you have faith he's going to grow, and you trust in them, or a teacher. But if you lose hope in the child, you cannot be the father. You can't be the leader anymore. You know, a father always has faith in his child, whatever he does wrong. And this is what Moshe Rabbeinu is supposed to be doing over here. Maybe we'll just end off with this story. You know, we didn't address, maybe the Orach Chaim, maybe I'll just say one thing about the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. He says, Moshe Rabbeinu, he had a different agenda, and he really wanted to be Mekadeshim Shamayim. And first thing he says, it was a bit misleading that Hashem told him to take the stick. Why should I take the stick if I'm supposed to be speaking? So he understood, really, I'm taking the stick and I'm supposed to hit the rock. And also Hashem says to him, ודיברתם אל הסלע ונתן מימיו והוצאת להם מים. והוצאת להם is you should take out from them. So that's also a bit misleading. So there is a bit of misleading area in Moshe Rabbeinu. But Moshe Rabbeinu did it for Bemet Kiddush Hashem. He wanted to show them that water can come out. And that's why he hit the rock. And there's many different explanations, we didn't go into them. But we just went into this one idea. One idea that you need to have bitachon in Hashem, and that's why Hashem wanted to live in Eretz Yisrael, you need bitachon, and that's what Hashem wanted more from Moshe to do. And that's why they couldn't go in, and that's what we said about the Orach Chaim, that if they would have showed their bitachon, they would have gone to Eretz Yisrael and would have reached the completion. Okay. So, and then we said that every Jew has inside his soul that ability to grow, and the leader can't give up on the Jew. The Jew always has to have that faith. You can revive the fire when the spark of the Jew inside you, if you think about the Kadosh Baruch Hu that is always with you, can take you out. Let's just end off with a story. This is an unbelievable, amazing story. I heard this today, and it was written by the person that story happened to them. It was written inside the Shas of the Admor Bobov, the Bobov Rebbe. In Yerushalayim, it has this Shas. You know, it's 350 years old. The Shas, and this story is also 250 years old. And inside is written a story by Rav Berish, which is a Hasidic name, and I don't know who he is, but he was one of the Chatanim of the Pnei Yeshua. Pnei Yeshua is one of the famous Talmidei Chachamim which lived in Lithuania about 350 years ago. And it's an amazing story, and I'm just going to share it with you. He says he was writing, he was learning a Tosfot in the Gemara, and he didn't understand Pshat in the Tosfot, and came to him in Shamayim, someone to reveal him the Pshat in the Tosfot. And he writes down the Pshat that he got from Shamayim. Now he says the story how this happened. Who was the one who told him the story? There was a butcher in the town, and the butcher came to him in a dream. Now he says, what happened to the butcher? Now listen to the story, and you see what a Jew is, and I'll tell you what I mean by the level of emunah of a Jew. He said he was a Jew, that he was a Baal Avera. He did a lot of Averot, this butcher. All the Averot in the Torah, I don't know what he kept, what he didn't keep, but he was the butcher of the town. And he needed the kashrut of the rabbi in order to sell his meat. But apart from kosher meat, he wouldn't keep other things. Did many Averot in the Torah. I don't know what he did, if it was Lashon Hara, if it was Machloket, if it was Shabbat, I don't know what he did. But he did. This is what he writes down. He was a person that did many Averot. But there was one mitzvah that he used to keep, and he was very careful in keeping it. What was the mitzvah? Netilat Yadayim. But not Netilat Yadayim in the morning, Netilat Yadayim for food. Whenever he wanted to eat bread, he would make sure he would wash. Now there's certain halachot. So sometimes you don't have water and you're part from Netilat Yadayim. Or if you don't touch it with your hands, you wear gloves or you hold them, you don't have to watch water. But he was always makpid and he's very careful, and he had that mitzvah. So the story was like this. That what happened one day, Erev Chag, Erev Shavuot, the day before Shavuot, they found in a behema, trefa, and the meat was not kosher. He said, I want to go to a different town to find the kosher behema. So listen, he went with him and the mashgiach, and they went traveling. They went through a forest, and he said, listen, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I say, okay, eat. He said, I bought a sandwich with me from her. I want to eat my sandwich. I loaf of bread and some meat. I want to eat it. Okay, eat. He said, look, I want to wash my hands. We're going through the forest. I know there's a spring in the middle of the forest. I want to wash my hands and then continue to eat. He said, what do you mean wash your hands? I'm not leaving the main road. Go into the forest. It's dangerous. There's bandits here. You can get killed. There's wild animals. I'm not going into there. She said, wait a bit. Half an hour. We'll drive. We'll get to the city. Wash your hands. Eat there. You can eat. Wait half an hour before you eat. You're not so hungry. He said, no, I'm hungry now. I want to eat now. Just stop by the road. I'll go on my own. I don't need you. I'll go on my own to do Netilat Yadayim. I'll come back and eat and then continue. Listen, I think you're exaggerating on here. You're risking your life for a sandwich. Wait half an hour. Or be safe. Or eat. Why are you risking your life to do water just for a sandwich? He says, no, I want to eat. And this is a person who was Bal Tava. And he did Averot. But this was his one mitzvah. He said, I'm willing to risk my life. I want to eat my sandwich. So he said, okay, I'm waiting for you here. You go on your own. He said he went out and he walked into the forest and he was waiting there for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes till he went in. And then he heard the scream. He heard a painful scream, but it was like a scary scream. And he understood that something that he got attacked. And he told the wagon driver to drive off, and the wagon drove to the city. Went to the city and said, listen, there's a met mitzvah. Even if someone died, we have to go bury him. It's Erev Chag. So Erev Chag, they went back. They went back with a whole group of men, and they went to get into the forest. They found his body, and he was dead. He was killed. I don't know, it was an arrow, or they shot him. And they took him to be buried. This was all Erev Chag. Now, at the same time, Rav Berish, he was learning Torah, and he was learning very difficult Tosfot. And he didn't understand Pshat, and he was trying to work on it and trying to understand it. And this butcher came to him from Shemaim. And he said, Rabbi, I come to ask you a question. He said, listen, I'm very difficult. I don't have time now to learn. He said, no, I can help you with the Tosfot. He goes, what do you mean you can help me with the Tosfot? You don't even know how to hold the Gemara. You're going to help me with the Tosfot? He said, listen, I come from Shemaim. Come from Olam Haba. He says, okay, what do you mean you come from Olam Haba? He says, listen, Olam Haba sent me here. And to prove to you that Olam Haba sent me here, I'll tell you what the Pshat and Tosfot. This is your question, right? You got a question because here the Gemara says something different to different Tosfot than somewhere else. So, yeah, how do you know? Because I know, because I'm from Shemaim. He said, this is the Pshat and the Tosfot. And the Baba of the Rebbe, he said it was written down in his Gemara, this explanation from Shemaim. So he said, okay, why did you send me here? He said, I sent here because in Shemaim, they didn't know what to do with me. On the one hand, I did so many Averot that there's a massive Gehinnom waiting for me because of all the Averot that I did. But on the other hand, I did one mitzvah. And when I died doing a mitzvah. And this is something very special that a person has a merit and zochet to die doing a mitzvah. He said, I died al Kiddush Hashem because they killed me while I was doing a mitzvah for the purpose of doing a mitzvah. So if you die doing a mitzvah or die al Kiddush Hashem, you go to Gan Eden, they clean your sheet. Now with me, that is effect because I didn't really die to do a mitzvah. I died because I was hungry for my own ta'avot to eat. I risked my life. So on the one hand, they say to me in Shemaim, I need to get Gehinnom because I did a mitzvah just for my own ta'avot. And I should have just waited, not risk my life for it. On the other hand, I actually did do a mitzvah and I did wash my hands and I got killed for Kiddush Hashem. So they didn't know whether to put me in Gan Eden or to put me in Gehinnom. Okay, Ali, he did a mitzvah or he didn't do a mitzvah? It's a debate. Where would you put him? What would you say?
It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. He said, they didn't know what to do, and they sent me down here to ask you because you are a big Talmid Chacham, and they respect you in Shamayim, and they said, you decide whether I go to Gehinnom or whether I go to Gan Eden. And to prove that, that's why they told me this pshat, the Chidush and Tosfot, to that you should believe me. And Rabbi said to him, listen, you did a mitzvah, you could have just eaten your sandwich, you did Mesirat Nefesh for your mitzvah, and the mitzvah is going to save you. Even if you did it for the wrong reason of Ta'ava, but you kept the stick to the mitzvah, then you're going to save them. And he was so happy, he said, thank you very much, Rabbi, thank you for believing in me. And he went up to Shamayim and he went happy. And that was a story, and it's written down and it's recorded 350 years later. You can find it in Yerushalayim, in the Shas of the Baba forever. Now, why am I bringing you this story? You see a Jew, he's on the lowest level of Emunah. He does all the Averot that he does. He's got a massive Gehinnom waiting for him. Because of one mitzvah that he kept, you see how strong his faith is in the mitzvah, that he sticks to it. So this is a Jew at every level. Doesn't matter what you've done wrong. Says the Yetzer Hara, what does he want you to do? He doesn't actually want you to do the Avera. He wants you to do the Avera, and then you feel so bad doing about the Avera that you give up on yourself. And he said, that's the Yetzer Hara Gadol. He said, no one must give up on himself. He said, Aliva Madigda must never give up on his people. Moshe Rabbeinu should not give up on Am Yisrael. What does it mean, Amorim? They did Averot, they're complaining about water. It doesn't matter. Hashem says they can reach the highest level of bitachon if you just speak Torah to the rock. They can go and be in Eretz Israel and be with him. Each and every one of us, we have Jewish neshama. Our neshama is the highest level, connected to the highest place in Shamayim. Whatever we've done wrong, Hashem still loves us, and He still can believe in us, and we'll still be deserving of it. And that's the great lesson that we can learn from Meir God. Whatever Jews, whatever low level we are on, and maybe other people give up on us, maybe our leaders give up on us, but Hashem doesn't give up on us. Even if we give up on ourselves, Hashem doesn't give up on us. And Hashem says, listen, you just stick to the mitzvah, be strong, be with me, and you can go into Eretz Israel. And that's the message from tonight's parasha. So I hope you all enjoyed this show, and I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. Chazak Baruch, thank you for taking part. Good night, Ali.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.